All right, let's cross live now to a man who's very much across the story as the author of Russiagate and Propaganda and Russiagate Revisited, Oliver Boyd-Barrett. Now joining us here live on RT International. Oliver, a very good morning to you. It's so good to get you on the program today.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
It's so good to get you on bright and early Saturday morning here. It does seem to be I told you so moment. What's your reaction, Oliver, to what Tulsi Gabbard has revealed?
In terms of what has been revealed, I'm not so impressed because most of this was very well known to those of us who have been following the story. Indeed, the fact that this was a hoax was recognized by some of our sharpest journalists here in the United States within days of the first rumors that the DNC was accusing Russia's intelligence agencies of hacking into its computers and stealing documents and emails and that kind of thing. Right from the very beginning, the sharpest journalists here were beginning to smell a rat, suspecting that this was coming from Hillary Clinton or her closest advisors.
Yeah.
But having said all of that, and I'm very happy to go back into some of the details of this, I do want to recognize that this is an extraordinary moment, that the head of intelligence in the United States has made such a bold, in fact, in some ways it's a shocking statement of truth, and not least because she's talking about treason. She's talking about the need for punishment. There are phrases she's using such as punishment to the extent that the law allows. This is almost beginning to sound quite threatening.
Yeah.
And what I suspect we're seeing here, apart from anything else, is a politicization, once again, a politicization of intelligence. And doubtless one reason for this is very likely linked to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
I was just going to ask you about that, Oliver. I do apologize for interrupting you, but I was going to ask you about the timing here. You know, the Epstein scandal, Iran, Israel war, Ukraine, proxy war. Any timing? What do you make of the timing on this release?
It doesn't smell too good. I would have been happier to have seen the release of these documents at some other less sensitive moment in U.S. history. Clearly, Trump is rattled by the Epstein scandal, and there are, of course, as you say, there are so many other issues going on at the moment, including Syria, where he's just recently blessed a former Al-Qaeda and ISIS chief who Trump has welcomed into illegal control of the country of Syria. All of this, some of these walls are going to come crashing down all around him. And what better than a wonderful distraction in the form of an admission from Tulsi Gabbard that actually Russiagate was a hoax. But I would like to say that one, I think, very valuable thing that's come out of this is the emphasis is given in what we've so far heard to how right up until very close to the election itself, the intelligence community had been, I think, with some degree of real concern, had been investigating the vulnerability of the U.S. electoral system, the infrastructure, if you will, of the and the integrity of the mechanisms by which votes are counted. And I think that there had been some very proper concern as to just how strong or how robust the U.S. system was. And what I'm looking at is documentation to show, first of all, that this was a concern, but that by and large, the intelligence community was coming to the conclusion, yes, it's something that we need to worry about. And yes, maybe Russia could be a possible potential culprit in all of this. But really, no, we're not really seeing anything substantial that worries us.
But I mean, we're talking a Russian narrative. I apologize for interrupting. I'm very sorry. But, you know, we're talking about selling this whole anti-Russia narrative. You know, Russia's been meddling, Putin's a mafia dictator. Russia's the biggest threat to the world. I mean, we've all heard so much BS over the years that I just don't think a lot of people are buying it anymore. Oliver, if I can ask you quickly, I'm running so low on time, but I wanted to ask you, now that America, Washington is essentially walking back its own allegations stateside, would you expect any other countries to change their tune? Look at the European Union. Do you think the European media will even touch this story?
I'm sure they will be obliged to touch it, but of course to contextualize it. And in fact, one thing that worries me about the nature of these revelations is that it's only telling a very small part of the story. One of many things that are currently being missed and not given the emphasis that they deserve. That there are so many, but one that I think is of particular importance is the broader context, as you just actually said, the broader context of an anti-Russian campaign. That was stoked artificially around the time of the late 90s, when the West had so clearly decided that NATO was going to move eastwards, regardless of whatever anyone in Russia or anyone in the United States had to say. And the Russiagate, I think, the best way to understand, to comprehend Russiagate is in the context of a very deep, very powerful anti-Russia campaign that was run over 2 decades. It's not just a fly in the night, kind of a Hillary Clinton being anxious about whether she's going to lose the 2016 election, and she needs some suitable excuse and some suitable culprit for what might have been a loss in that election. I think it's much deeper than that. I think that's too simple an explanation.
I think you're absolutely right, Oliver. I think it goes decades back. It's part of a much deeper agenda. And I'm so grateful to get you on the program to shed some light on this. Talk about a man who knows what he's talking about, the author of Russiagate and Propaganda, Russiagate Revisited. Oliver, you've got a long list of books you've published. I'm really impressed with your work. Oliver Boyd-Barrett, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.